guys, this is Christy Fulk with Create with Christy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the U.S. Well, I got my new Stampin' Cut Emboss Machine, and I have to say, I'm in love. I just made this card, but just a little bit. I used it yesterday. I saw some improvements that I didn't realize were there, and I'll show you those here in a minute. And I'm going to show you the machine, the plates that come with it, and then I'm going to compare it to the old machine. But first, we're going to talk about the card. This one is with the Life is Beautiful stamp set, and I'll show you that here in a minute too. If you'd like to stamp this card with me, you can find the dimensions and the supply list below by clicking the blog post link in the video description. Now you can pause the video, go get your supplies together, and come back and make the card with me. Now, some of these items you may not have because the August and December mini catalog just started on Tuesday, but you can order everything that is needed to make this card. And I wanted to let you know that I have a sale going on until this Sunday, August 9th. If you place a $65 order using the host code that's in the bottom left corner, I'm actually top right corner, I forgot I changed that. The top right corner of the video, the host code is YXFB3UCN, and I'm also going to put it in the video description below. You place that order by midnight of this Sunday, August 9th, you will get these iridescent pearls. So it's a $65 order, and that is before shipping and tax and after you redeem your coupons. And don't forget to redeem your coupons. You've got to August 31st to do that. But if you place a $65 order before the shipping and tax and after the coupons are redeemed, you will get this, and using my host code. Now, if your order is over $150 before shipping and tax and after you redeem the coupons, I always have to add that little part there, do not use that host code. That way you'll get the Stampin' Rewards from Stampin' Up. And oh, I almost forgot. I've got my Doily Rewards program, and this just happens to be, I'm using the same host code as my Doily Rewards program this month for the August of 2020. If you place, for every $50 you place on an order before shipping and tax and after the coupon, you'll receive a doily. And then if you collect 10 doilies, you earn a $50 shopping spree on me. So with my special, I decided to combine it. You'll definitely earn a doily if you only do that $65 order, but you'll also get the iridescent pearls. But if you want to know more about the Doily Rewards program and how you can get that $50 shopping spree, and I even pay the shipping and tax, just click the Doily Rewards link below in the video description. Okay, usually we'd start making the card, but I want to be able to show you the machine, so we'll show that to you real quick and then we'll get to stamping. I'll be back in just a second. Okay, first off, I want to show you the machine. This is the new Stampin' Cut and Emboss Machine, and these are the plates that come with it. You get the base plate and the die plate. You get 2 cutting plates, and you get the specialty plate. This one is to be able to do the 3D folders to make that sandwich work. And I'll show you how all of these work in the card that I'm making. So I'll be back doing that in just a minute. So let's get the plates out of the way. And one feature I'm going to show you before I bring in our old die cutting machine to compare them. I love that this is so compact for storing. Say you don't have a big workspace, big scrapbooking, you just fold these up and put it on your shelf. I love that. Now I've got an office, so I'll probably keep mine open, but I'm going to love when I go to crops again that I can just take this. It's not going to take up near as much room when I go to load it up in my car. But when you're ready to die cut, you just pop those out. Isn't that cool? I really, really like that. Okay, now I'm going to bring in the old die cutting machine and compare them for you. Okay, here's our old die cutting machine next to our new one. One thing I noticed, the handle here is just a little bit shorter than this one. I do like the way this turns. I think it turns better. And like I said, I've only made one card with it so far, but I really like this handle. Another thing I noticed, that I didn't realize this until I started playing with it yesterday. This opening here is wider than this one. I love that. When you put this one in to our old machine, it doesn't, I mean, it's wiggling a little bit, but it is right up against the edges. Let me pull it up there. See how it's right up against the edges? Hopefully you're going to be able to see this in the video. Sometimes it's hard to get things angled right. But if you look here, I can move that. There's probably at least 1/4 of an inch difference with that. So you have more wiggle room. And why is that important? Let me show you. I don't know if you missed this card, you might want to see the video, and I'll put the link to it up above, and I'll also put it down in the video description. But I did a card that was a landscape, so it was a wider card, and I only wanted to do the top part of these trees, so my cardstock was sticking out like this. Well, there's no way I could put it in fold first because the cardstock was sticking out, so I needed to put it in this way. And in the video I said be super careful, because when you put this through, those sides, if you don't want it to scrape, especially this fold. If it scrapes the sides of this, it's going to break this open eventually. Well, having that extra wiggle room, even if it hangs over a little bit, it's not going to rub against the sides. Oh, I loved that. When I did that, I thought, oh my goodness, it's wider. I was so excited. So that's how that works. And one more thing I want to show you. Now, I might find some new other things, but this is just what I noticed when I made my card yesterday. I'm going to put this in. Have you ever done die cutting and you let this, let me back this up a little bit. You let this hang over a little bit so you can add more dies to it and this starts getting wobbly. The most stable is when you can have it on there right up against the edge here. Okay, I want you to see how much workspace you have. So it goes, this picture right here, takes off maybe just the very top of it, okay? I was so surprised when I went to die cut something yesterday. I'm going to put this right up against the edge like I did with the other one. Look at how much more room you've got. You've got all that workspace. I love that. It was down here for the big shot. It's up here right above the words. So you get that much more. That may not look like a lot, but I couldn't believe how much easier it was to put more dies on here and not have my platform woggle. Or wobble, not woggle. So those are the major things I've seen in the differences. I'm in love with this already, and I've only had it 24 hours, and I've only made one card with it. So that's my review for right now, and I'm going to be right back and make a card, and I'm going to show you how to do the embossing with our regular folders, our 3D folders, and die cutting. So I'll be right back. Wasn't that die cutting machine great? I love it. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with the card. First, I want to show you all the stuff I'm going to be using real quick. This is the Life is Beautiful stamp set. I love all the seasons that it incorporates. And I'm using most of the items that are in the Plaid Tidings suite. I'm not using the stamp set since I'm using the Life is Beautiful, but I'm using the Celebration dies that are in that kit. And the dies we're going to use, I'm going to use the number 2 die. So 1, 2. I always start with the smallest one as number 1. And these 2 little sprigs. So those are all the dies we're using. We're using the ribbon that's in that plaid suite. This is the embroidered ribbon. And I'm going to be using the Plaid Tidings designer series paper. So it's one of the piece that we're using. I love that plaid suite. Okay, first off, we want our card base, which is that 5.5 by 8.5, and I've already folded that in half. So that's our card base. And now we're going to do some die cutting. So let's bring this beautiful machine back out. So much easier to bring this into a video now that I can have it closed up. I love that. Okay. Now, the sandwich we need for dies, you want the base plate, which is number 1, the number 2, the die plate, and that's one thing I forgot to show you on the platforms. It tells you the sandwiches right here. It tells you the number of plates. I love that we've got numbers on it. It makes it so much easier. So this is, like I said, the base plate, the die plate, and then a cutting plate. I'm going to make it so the numbers are here so you can see those. Now I'm going to grab a scrap piece of our brushed metallic cardstock, and this is the bronze color. And I'm also going to grab a piece of Whisper White that's 3x4. Let's go ahead and angle this a little bit because I'm going to be using this big die and I don't want to make a lot of crunching noises. So I'm going to put that right there. And then I'm so glad we've got 2 of these. It works out perfect for what I'm doing. Now we've got those where we need them. Put the second cutting plate on top and run it through. And the first time you use it, you may hear some crunching. That's normal. Just need to put that through once. And now we've got our 2 little sprigs. And we've got our label. So that's how you die cut with this. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way for right now. Now, I would have done the embossing, but we need to do some stamping before we do some embossing. So this is, I'm going to grab that label. I'm going to grab my Stampin' Pierce mat, and these are not in the catalog, but they are available to purchase, so you can go to the online store and find those. Just grab some grid paper so I don't get ink on that. I'm going to grab the big tree and use cinnamon cider. Ink this up real well. Try not to angle it. I'm still getting some brown there, but that's okay. I'm going to put this down here, and I'm only, as you can see, the tree is much bigger, but it still looks good just doing a partial. So I'm going to put it right about there. Hold it down for a few seconds, and you definitely want to have this Stampin' Pierce mat underneath because that supports it and gives the padding that these photopolymer needs because there's no padding on these. Okay, so we've got the tree there. I'm going to grab my pumpkin pie ink pad and my Mango Melody. I'm going to start with the lighter color. You know what? I'm going to put these dies in my little dish here because I'm going to lose those. I just know it. I'm real good at that. Okay, now I'm going to grab the leaves. This has got a bunch of falling leaves. Ink this up, and I'm going to stamp it a couple times without re-inking. So we've got that one, and then that one. Move it over so you got yellow all through there. And then I don't have to clean it since this is a darker color. I think I might go ahead and stamp that a little bit. Get my pumpkin pie on there. And I'm going to put the darker version over here since my yellows were so light over here, and kind of put it in a different spot here. There we go. Doesn't that look pretty? I really like the stamp sets. I've been dying to use it. It's been the first time I've used it so far. So that, oh, we need to do our greeting. This is a thinking of you stamp that's in it. And I'm using the Tuxedo Black Memento. Go ahead and turn this over. Make sure I got it inked up real good. And then we're going to stamp the thinking of you and make sure I've got that my label straight. Hold that down, and that's ready to go. Now, I thought that looked pretty cool that way, but I wanted to add a little more. So I'm going to take my cinnamon cider ink pad again, ink it up with my sponge, and I'm going to sponge around the edges of this. And not just the edges, I'm going to get some on the flat part of the white too. So I thought it needed a little something to make it look more like fall. So that looks pretty good. So that's ready to go. And while we're stamping, we might as well get the inside of the card done. So you need a piece of the 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of Whisper White. I'm going to grab this big guy again. Now I'm going to go ahead and ink. I'm not going to be stamping the whole thing again, but just out of practice, I make sure I ink it all because I don't want to end up putting this down and I miss where it doesn't have ink and I've got a white spot there. But I'm just going to put part of this right here on the edge because I still want to have room to be able to write a greeting or something if I give this card away. Hold it down. And there we go. So you've got that partial tree. And that was with the cinnamon cider. And then we're going to do the same thing we did with the leaves. Now since this was with pumpkin pie a minute ago, I'm going to get all that ink off of there. Ink it up with the Mango Melody. Okay, stamp it twice. Get my pumpkin pie out here. Let's put a few more up here. There we go. That looks really good. Oops, I got a little brown there, but that's okay. But there is my inside of my card. Actually, to make that look a little better, let's do this. We are going to fix this up. I'm glad that was on the bottom. There we go. I didn't do this on my first card, but I like that. Oh, that looks really good. Doesn't that make you think of fall? There, that was an easy fix. So that's the inside of the card. So let's go ahead and put that on the inside right now. While we've got it together, let's get my Stampin' Seal out of here. Oops, I need to wheel that up a little bit. Perfect. Yeah, if it ever doesn't, the adhesive doesn't come out, it just means that it needs to be, you need to push it up a little bit till the sticky part gets up to where it needs to be. Then you put this right on the inside. I just like that inside. That's really pretty. I'm glad I made that mistake. I think it looks a lot better sponged. Okay, now we're going to grab the die cutting machine and do some embossing because I wanted to do more than just have it like this. We're going to emboss it. So let's get this back out. And first we're gonna, since we're doing this one I'm using the Tasteful Textile folder, and this is one of our 3D folders, so I'll show you the sandwich for it. You need the base plate, which is number 1. Then you put your paper. Actually, we're gonna be doing 2 things in here. I'm gonna be using the small bloom punch. I think that's what this is called. Got it written down, yes, small bloom. And get a little flower out of that. This is in the annual catalog, and so is this, both the embossing folders I'm using. So I'm gonna be using another one here in just a minute, but like I said, this is a 3D, so this is a sandwich for the 3D. So we can go ahead and put that in there and put that flower in there. We've got plenty of room. So we've got the base plate, which is number 1. You put your you get your cardstock in there, put your folder down, fold first. You do want to put that in, fold first. And then you take the specialty plate, which is number 4. So it's 1, the folder with a cardstock, and then number 4. Run it through. Just need to run it through that one time. And now we've got some pretty textured. Hopefully you can see that there. If I angle it that way, usually it works. If I can get hold of, and then here's the flower that's been done the same way. So those are ready. Now we're going to use the regular folders. Actually, they are mini folders. I'm using the Meadow Moments. These are in the annual catalog. Let me bring this down a little bit because I'm probably getting a little blurry. And this one has some butterflies and branches and stuff. I like that one, but this is the one I'm going to use. It puts leaves along the left or right side. You can have them go that way too, I guess. Yeah, because they're going every which way, but I'm going to have it go on the left side. But these are our regular folders, are not the 3D, so the sandwich is different. So we're going to use the base plate again, and then you're going to use 2 of the standard cutting pads, so 2 number 3s. So we're going to put that down. We're going to grab a piece of cinnamon cider. This is a 4x5 1/4 inch piece. Now this one will work in our mini embossing machine, or Stampin Cut Emboss Machine. I always forget all the words, but that one's not available yet. Hopefully it will be soon. But we're just going to put this right along the edge, and I'm not going to worry about this because I didn't want that embossed anyway. Oh, help if I opened up the folder. There we go. Now you put it inside the folder. I thought I'd opened that up, but I didn't. Okay, now you can put this in, fold first again. But with this being a regular one, you need to have 2 cutting pads because it's thinner. Gonna run this through. And that's how you emboss with our regular folders, regular width folders, that is. Isn't that pretty? I like that a lot. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. We're all ready. Oops, I snapped that a little hard, didn't I? Okay, we're done with the stamping, so I put that over to the side. Let's go ahead and grab our basic black. This is a 4x2 1/4 inch piece, and a piece of the Plaid Tidings DSP. It's 4x2. You can use whichever one you want. This is one I picked out. Let's go ahead and attach that across the center of the basic black. And what I love about this plaid paper, this definitely fall. That could be for Christmas, anything else you want. It has colors, enough colors that it covers a bunch of different seasons. There's even some in there that I'm going to use on a Halloween card. When I saw it, I thought of that Have a Hoot stamp set, and I haven't used that yet, so be looking for that video soon. Okay, there we go. So we've got that ready to go. Let's go ahead and put that across the bottom part of the cinnamon cider piece. Oops, I didn't get that cut very well. There we go. Put that across the bottom. And then I'm going to grab a 6-inch piece of the embroidered ribbon, if I can get a hold of it. I'm going to let me grab my silicone mat. Put some seal across both ends. I've got a piece of black on me. I don't know where that came from. There we go. And I'm going to wrap this around the bottom part of the DSP. Whenever I say DSP, that's Designer Series paper, in case you were wondering. Been around Stampin' Up for a long time, you probably know that, but some people that are new, I want to make sure you know what that means. Okay, so that's ready to go. Let's go ahead and put that on the card base. I am definitely going to be using this Life is Beautiful stamp set a lot. I am in love with it. I know I say I'm in love with a lot of stuff, but The stuff in the new August to December mini are just wonderful. And I've still got some annual catalog things I want to use, so don't forget about the annual catalog. There's still a ton of things in there too. So now we've got that on there. Let's grab the 4-inch piece that we cut, thread that underneath the bottom. Now we're going to tie this just a single knot, so it's tied onto this attached piece. That uses less ribbon, and I think it makes it a lot easier to work with. I can get that knot looking a lot better. If I did it and tied it around, I could never get it to angle right. Then I'm going to grab my scissors and tie those at an angle. Now this ribbon is type that you can fray at the bottom too if you wanted to, and that would look pretty neat too. So that's ready to go. We are going to grab this and put some dimensionals on it. And I'm not going to put them right to the edges. I'm going to kind of make like a little diamond, because I'm going to stick some these little sprigs that we made earlier under it. Okay. Grab my take your pick tool. Oops. And get all these little paper backings off. Those in my, got something else stuck to me. Okay. Then this is going to go right over here to the right. Make sure it's straight. Looking at this line here, that looks pretty straight. Okay, so we've got that on there. We're going to take this little guy, and I'm going to be using the sequins for everything. These also in the mini. I love these different ones, and the neat thing about these sequins, there are no holes in them. And so they're great for confetti, a lot of different things. But I'm going to use these gold ones. I think these are probably, I think of New Year's Eve for those, Halloween for these, and Christmas, of course, for these. But I'm going to take my take your pick tool, take this end, and I'm going to take one of these. There's some that are just flat circles, some that really look like sequins, but just without the hole in them. So I'm going to grab one of the gold ones. Well, it's a little hard to do that when they keep falling down, so we'll do it this way. Now I can pick it up. I'm going to take get a glue dot, stick it on that glue dot, like so. Now I'm going to take it off like this and put it right there in the center of my flower. Okay, and I'm going to, this is already going to fold up nice and curve because we embossed it, I'm sorry. That makes it so the cardstock is not so rigid. So I've got a little flower there. And I'm going to stick that on with the glue dot. And it's going to go right about here. That looks pretty good. Push that down. Now we're going to take these little sprigs. Once again, I'm going to use some glue dots, but I'm going to put the glue dots near the bottom. And it's okay that they're sticking out. Let's go ahead and stick this one on another glue dot so it's ready. Now with these, I think it's easier. Oops, that one just came right up, so we'll go ahead and put it on. I'm going to stick it right under here. I'm going to make sure that glue dot is hidden underneath this white layer. And with it raised up, it's real easy to get it under there. And kind of angle it like that. It's kind of going to be like leaves for the flower. Actually, that came off just fine, so I don't have to get my take your pick tool out. And I'm going to put this one, I'm going to get it to go under there a little more. There we go. There we go. And that is the card. Came together pretty quick, and I got to show you everything that you need to do with the embossing, the sandwiches that you need. So I hope you enjoyed this card. I had so much fun making it, and I hope you did too. And if you did have fun and you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, make sure you click that subscribe button you see at the bottom right corner of the video. And when you click on that, you'll also see a little bell icon that'll come up. And make sure you select all. That way, YouTube will notify you every time I have a video, so that way you don't miss one. And you can follow me on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram, and you can find the links below in that video description, because some of my projects, sometimes I don't make a video, and you can see more things on there. Now, if you live in the United States and don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be yours. And if you'd like to get the new catalogs mailed to you, just click the Contact Me link below. Here they are. There's the annual catalog and the new mini catalog that just started. Just click that Contact Me link below in the description, and I'll get one mailed out to you right away. Well, it's time to go. Let me get the card back out here. I hope you support my channel by giving it a thumbs up or commenting below. I really appreciate it. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day, guys.